Hello and good morning. Hi and welcome to Thursday. Good to see you here. How are you doing? Nice, good. So come in, have a seat, make yourself comfy, get yourself a drink if you need it, and most important, pen and paper, because today we're looking at IELTS speaking, and the topic is family again, but part 2 and part 3 questions. On Tuesday, we looked at part 1 questions. Today, we're going to dig deep into part 3 questions. I don't know how many sequels there are to this film, The Family. But today, it's all about that. We're going to look more at the family. Hello to all of you just joining now. Abhilasha, Vida, Nitu, Turquoise, great name. Jerry, nice to see you. Rahul, Farshid, Rauf, Happy. What a nice name. Dhaliwal, Happy. Good. Raruya, Nguyen, Nitu is here again. I'm good, thank you. Albert, nice to see you. Present. Great. It's like being back in secondary school, isn't it? Present, sir. I'm here. Now, get your pens and papers ready, or your tablets if you're digitally a digital native or digitally proficient, and to make notes to record some of the stuff that we're going to do today. Brilliant. Nice to see you all this morning. Kriska, KT, Neha, Alessia, and Dior. Nice to see you, Dior. Yuna from Japan. Brilliant. Good. People from all over the world. Smiley. We've got Happy. We've got Smiley. What's going on? And we've got Lily. Brilliant. Good to see you all. And Joyce, good morning. Great. So, let us move slowly forward. And first of all, today, just a few things. I would actually, first of all, just like to say a big thank you especially to the donors. So some of you who have helped me out, donated money, if you like, sponsored me and sponsored these classes to make this possible. I really do appreciate it. So a big thank you to Daria, Nadira, Yan Yutong, to Abdullah, who's got the KZM in his email address, Alina Manov, Muhammad Mustafa Al Hussein, Lee Wai Kim, who I think is William, if I remember correctly. So guys, a big thank you. I really appreciate it because it actually helps me spend more time on doing things like this. So the live classes, making the notes, the YouTube videos, everything that is free that people can access. So I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay. Parisa, you've got your interview in less than a week. Now your interview, you mean your test, right? I suppose. Okay, I'm going to talk about that, yes, a few things, because a few questions came up last week. And some of the questions I'm going to address with you now, okay? So some people, there were 4 questions. First question was, what's the best way to learn words in the lockdown? Okay, let me share this question with you. Great. Thank you very much, all of you. Kriska, I'll answer that question, how to donate, in a moment. Yes. Emmy, you overslept. Great. So the best way somebody asked last week, best way to learn words in lockdown. Well, to be honest, the best way to learn words in or out of the lockdown is the same. I think one of the most important things in the lockdown is to have a routine. And a lot of the professionals say this, the psychologists say this, the teachers say this, because the routine allows you to organize your day. People, we are creatures of habit, right? And we like a routine and habits. And in the lockdown, sometimes that is lost, especially if you're not working. And things, we eat at different times, we lose our sense of where we are, of reality, and it can get very difficult, and for some people very lonely if you're on your own, and depressing. And so routine is just a simple structure to help us. And it's the same with your study. Have a routine, same time every day, connected to another thing you do every day. So, for example, as soon as you finish breakfast, ooh, that's my English time. Even if it's 10 minutes, right? As soon as you've finished brushing your teeth, ooh, that's my English time. And straight away, have that habit every day. And that's the most important thing. I think then for vocabulary, we're looking at words. Learn in context. Learn in context. So don't just have a list of words like a dictionary with translation. That's okay, but it's limited. The most useful thing you can do is to watch videos, listen to radio and audio and reading where you're seeing the words in a sentence in context, because it tells you how to use it and it shows you better the language as it's used. So have a habit, routine, learn in context. 2, make notes. 3, make notes. So when you discover a new word, write it down. Not just the word, but the word before and or the word after, right? So when we learned last week, for example, on Tuesday, we talked about families. And do you remember the terrible twos, the children, the toddler, right? Terrible twos. And they throw tantrums. So when you learn tantrum, don't just write tantrum, write throw tantrums. And then make a short phrase, toddlers throw tantrums. Because there you've actually got 3 things. You've got toddler, you've got tantrum, you've got throw tantrum, toddlers throw tantrums, plural. You've got grammar. You've got so much, and that's really the best way to learn vocabulary. Okay, so routine, routine. What was the second one? Learning context, right? And take notes. Okay, that's it. That's the first question. Brilliant. Reading the BBC. Excellent. Some very nice ideas coming up. Chin Vu, reading BBC, CNN News is great. Absolutely. Very, very good. Note the words to read. Yes. Here, aloha. 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 Isn't that hello in Hawaiian? I think it might be. Learn words through podcasts, online classes. By IELTS Success, you mean IELTS Speaking Success? Absolutely. Nice one here. I reckon browse the news online. Very, very much so. Yes. Watching movies, all of these. So these contexts, right? Movies, BBC, the news, their context. So, so important. Exactly. You can also find websites that have context adapted to your level, higher levels and lower levels. Okay, brilliant, great. Skimming and scamming the newspaper, some good ideas. So somebody asked where about the donation. Where do we donate? Right. Let me show you very quickly, because it does help. You can't imagine. Maybe you can imagine, but it's hugely, hugely helpful. Here, let me just show you very quickly. I think it was Kriska who was asking this. If you go to my website, Kriska, it's called IELTS Speaking Success, and go up here, live lessons. Sorry, let's get rid of this one. On that page, it's here. There's the level 1, 2, or 3, or you can choose how much. So you just choose and then you just press the donate and that's it. Okay. So it's just in there. Great. Let me come back. I'll put the link for you. But of course, as always, all of these links will be in the notes at the end of the session today. Okay. Brilliant. Excuse me. It's my honey lemon ginger tea coming up to say hello. So let's come back to the other questions. The second question somebody asked me was, oh, this is a good one. How many ideas should we include in a part 3 answer, and how much time? Very good question, right? How many ideas to include in a part 3 answer? and how much time speaking, I think. So part 3, as you know, is all about developing your ideas and taking the conversation deeper. Okay. So in part 1, we're talking kind of like across on different topics, right? Part 3, you can think of it as going down. So think of part 1 as being horizontal and part 3 as being vertical, going deeper. So how many ideas? Roughly speaking, 1 or 2, right? You don't want to give lots of ideas because ideas is horizontal. You want to give 1 or 2 and go deep, go down, right? That's the key to it. So if there's a question, for example, today we're going to look at one of the questions, what role do grandparents play in families, right? Now, you don't want to say, well, they look after the children, they feed the children, they take them to school, they buy them presents, they take them to the cinema, they take them to the shopping mall. You don't want to go example, right? You want to give 1 or 2 and go deep. Well, they look after the children. So, no, let's take what do they look after the children? They take the children shopping, for example. Is that the role? That's not the role. What's the role of a grandparent? Let's think about this. Role of the grandparent is to have fun with the children. Is to let the children have fun in ways that maybe they can't at home. So the grandparents will look for ways to entertain and let the children be free, have amusing times with each other. Maybe they take them to a film because at the film they can have some popcorn, they can run around in the garden, they can watch a funny film, and so we're going down and down and down and down, right, into depth about having fun. So that's the idea. I hope that makes sense. I will have a look at some more examples today. So the quick answer is 1 or 2, and how much time? Between 30 and 60 seconds. Right? It's not mathematical. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. The examiner is not timing each question, but you know, as a ballpark figure, it's a nice expression, a ballpark figure, right? And a rough figure. I would say 30 seconds to 60 seconds, right? Ballpark figure. Boom, there you go. That means an approximate number, if you like. So, or people have started answering about grandparents. Yes, we're going to come to grandparents in a moment. The other question, there was one more question. Fluency Gym, what's happened to the Fluency Gym? The Fluency Gym is still going strong. There are 3 videos on YouTube. I am making it an audio course. It's being developed at the moment. It may take a few more weeks to come out, but we will do a little bit of Fluency Gym through the classes as well. Maybe not at the end, but in different parts to practice. Okay, brilliant. And the last question was task cards for May. What are the task cards for May? Okay, the task cards for May. The task cards for May, we don't know yet. Because we don't have a secret source. We're waiting for students to take the test. Obviously, very few students are taking the test, but there are some in Taiwan, there are some in Australia, and so there are 1 or 2 questions coming out. So we know that some of a lot of the questions from January to April are still there. Questions from 2019 have come back in, and there are 1 or 2 new questions. At the end of the class today, I'll give you one of the questions I know, but the others we're not sure yet. I say we. I'm not sure yet. I speak like the Queen sometimes. The Queen says we, right? She doesn't say I. She says, we are not amused. We are hungry. The royal we. Not the toilet, the royal we, W-E. I don't know for sure, so I'm waiting until next week. Here's a key question, though. If anybody is having the test this week, and I can see some people are, May the 23rd. Aloha, you're on May 23rd? Okay. If anybody else is having the test, let us know what the questions are, right? Let us know. The best place to let me know is in the website. Again, go to the IELTS Speaking Success recent questions. Let me make sure you know where that is, because that will help everybody, right? Hang on. Da, 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 da. If you go to the website and go here, test, recent questions. So you've got all information about the different parts, but the recent questions is where you want to go. And there you'll be able to see recent questions. You could go to the very bottom, actually. If you click here, it takes you right down to the bottom, and post at the bottom. You have to go through all the questions. A lot of these are still applicable, but then you write your comment here, and at the bottom, that's where you can add your comment and add your questions. So do let us know if you've got your test. Somebody else said they're having test, right? The 17th of May. I wonder where you are. Which country would that be? I can't see. You've gone now. But if anybody else is having the test, let me know when and let me know where you are. And after the test, let us know the questions, and then we can share with everybody. So Khushbu, May the 21st. We've got somebody from Cornwall. Fantastic. Great. Dr. Norulain, May the 17th. Yeah, well, good luck to all of you guys. Elehaina, and 16th of May, up in Russia, I guess. 21st of May. Right. 23rd of May for Meenakshi. Well, for those of you who are before next Tuesday, a big good luck to all of you. I really hope you do well. Excellent. Great. Thank you for that. Now, let's move on. And what's next? What's next is, I just want to let you know, because, again, people have been asking me a few questions about this, is people who are doing the test and want to do a mock test first. The mock test, I think one of the best that I've seen is takeielts.net. And they are pretty good. And I've actually done it through their system, and I was impressed with what they do. I was impressed with the feedback. They do the full test. So I just want to share with you one more time the information. I've got too many documents open. Okay, bear with me. Bear with me. Here we go. This will just take a moment, but it's useful, I think, for you if you want to do a mock test, and not just speaking, but actually everything. They do all the different parts. These are the guys who I think are very, very good. Succeed in IELTS. Okay, and basically they've got the mock tests through here. They're connected to the what's it called? The European Education Authority. They have professional IELTS examiners who marking the tests. And also, when I did it, I was impressed because of the level of the feedback. So you get things like this. Let me just show you this. So here was a mock test. They give you the kind of the overall score and a breakdown of the score. And then for listening, you get examiners' comments. And they give you a really thorough feedback. Same for reading. And they give you tips and ideas on what you should do. And then for speaking, they also they tell you what you've done well and what you need to change. You may lose coherence due to this. And then give you advice, practice using synonyms and paraphrasing. And then for each one, the fluency, the lexical resource, grammar, pronunciation, you get feedback. So you get a lot of feedback. And I think it's invaluable. I think they're very, very good. So those are some guys I would check out and go and have a look at. I'll give you the link if I haven't done it already. And if you put in a code is Keith 10. they gave me a code. They said, if your students want a 10% discount, just use this code and you'll get it. It's Keith 10. So basically, that's it. You can have a look at that. If it's useful for you and you think it's worth paying for, then have a go. You can get different packages. Keith 10 is a discount. Okay. So the link is there, or land just above you. The cost of those is, let me tell you, give us the pricing here, don't they? The cost is, it's actually a reasonable price. When you think about a mock test, right, the whole exam, you're paying what, $150? So for one mock test, the whole thing, it's 20 or 19.99, 20 euros. For 3, it's just under 50, and for 5, it's just under 80. So it's a valuable investment. I think it's worth doing. Anyway, that's it. Let's move on. So there's lots of questions coming up. So again, I'm going to take the questions today that are not about family. So today our topic is family, part 3. And I'll look at your questions and answer those next Tuesday. Brilliant. So let's have a look. Yes. Yes, there is writing. Yes. Okay. So where are we? We're going to look at part 3 questions. So here are the questions. Let's do them one by one. First question is family important in your country? Right? Is family important in your country? Have a think. Let me know. Some good questions there, but we'll look at those next time. So Mahesh says, yes, family is very important. Family provides us with social and emotional bonds. That's a nice one from Niha. Social and emotional bond. I would say bonds in the plural. Bonds. Great. Yes. So Purva says, yes, in our country, family is given first priority. Nice, first priority. People spend a lot of time with the family. Great. And as Marcella says, yes. And to my mind, nice. To my mind, in my opinion, not just in my country. I think you're right, right? It's in many different countries. This is nice from Gennaro. Yes, I think it is. I'm Italian and we tend to gather whenever it's possible. Not so much nowadays, right? That's the trouble. But we tend to gather. That's really nice, right? We tend to gather. Notice the to becomes t because we stress the gather. The d. We tend to gather. We tend to gather whenever it's possible. Lovely. Vida says, without a doubt, family play a pivotal role in society. They do indeed. Good. It is without a shadow of a doubt. Nice expressions, those, without a shadow of a doubt. Yes. Isha says, without family, we are nothing. Very, very true. Hanson, should I begin with, if I'm going to talk about the importance of the family? No, don't begin with that, because the question is family important in your country? So you must talk about the importance of family. It's not if, because there is no if. You must talk about it. So don't start with that. That, if I'm going to talk about, is when there is a choice of different things. But here there's no choice, right? Okay, but I like how you're thinking. It's a good way of thinking, looking for nice ways to begin. It's a good idea. Okay, I think here I would just go straight in, right? Say, absolutely, yes, I totally agree. I couldn't agree more. Family is pivotal, plays a pivotal role in our society, right? Okay. Or priority, as Kriska says, talk about priority. Family as a priority. Brilliant. There you go. Going straight in with Debbie. Absolutely. And nod your head like that. Absolutely. Typical households in my country tend to live, love it, tend to live. I think that's nice because we're generalizing, right? We can't say this is true for all families. So tend to means for most families, right? Tend to live with extended family members. Well done, Debbie. We had that on Tuesday. I like it. We're recycling the vocabulary. Today's going to be really good for you guys because we're going to recycle lots of vocabulary from the other day. Brilliant. Yeah, we've got about family being precious. We've got things about the family as a part of our tradition. That's good. Family is a very crucial part. It's a really crucial part, right? Crucial means very important. It's one of these extreme adjectives, right? Very important. So you can't say very, very important because crucial's already very, right? Very important. So then with extreme adjectives, we say really crucial, right? It's like fantastic is very good. We don't say very fantastic. No, really fantastic. So for these extreme adjectives, fantastic, crucial, amazing, wonderful, don't use very, use really to emphasize, right? Brilliant. Niha, thank you. Excellent. Okay, we've got here the family is the basic form of community. Yes, the word I would use is unit. It's the basic unit of our community, right? Family is the basic unit of our community. Okay, brilliant. Now, I just had that written down, but I just found out. My notes have gone strange. What's happened to my notes? Why have they done that? Oh, I've divided it into 2 columns. How did I divide it into 2 columns? You've got no idea what I'm talking about because you can't see what I'm seeing. Right. Let me share this with you then. We've got some great ideas. Oh my, I'm way behind you. So social bonds, high value, significant place. Yeah. Great. Some great, great ideas. Brilliant. Let me just share some notes over here. Is family important in your country? Well, we may want to talk about respect. Yes, we respect our families. We respect the people in our family. Talk about family values are important. Family values may have changed, but they are important. Family bonds, right? Somebody said the family is a priority. Family is really crucial. Crucial. With family values, family bonds, and a couple of expressions here. To get through thick and thin. So family help you get through thick and thin. The thick and thin, as you can probably guess, right, is difficult times. So sometimes your friends may help or colleagues at work may or may not help, but usually your family help you get through thick and thin. Through thick and thin. Notice with the thick and thin, right, the and, well, first of all, this is very, very common that when we have 2 adjectives divided by and, what we actually say is thick and thin, not thick and thin, no, thick and thin, and you link them. So it's thick and thin, thick and thin. Maybe if you can see me, that might help. So it's thick and thin. So it's not thick and thin. It's thick and thin, thick and thin, thick and thin, thick and thin. So family help you get through thick and thin. Try that with me and try and follow the intonation, right? And the stress. Family help you get through thick and thin. Again, family help you get through thick and thin. Excellent. That's it. That's it. Nice. Little bit of fluency, Jim. Those of you who are new are thinking, what's he talking about? And a similar expression, to get through the ups and downs, the ups and the downs, the ups and downs. You don't need the, actually, through the ups and downs. Same idea, right? And becomes an. You connect here, ups and downs. Ups and downs. Family can get you through the ups and downs. Ups and downs. Ups and downs. do. Ups and downs. Family can get you through ups and downs. Put it all together. Family can get you through ups and downs. Nice. Very good. Getting good. Getting good. Brilliant. Okay. What else have we got? Social bonds. Yes. Family's our priority. Close-knit family. Great. I like it. That's very, very good. I'm laughing at our Russian friend over here who's put lots of question marks to catch my attention and to catch my eye. The answer is yes. The answer is yes. There are lots of the questions from January to May still included in the present questions. Yes. Right. Family is foundation. Also, great. So some good ideas there. Okay. And the other expression I was going to put in here was this one. Family will stand by you, right? So family will support you, stay with you. So they're important. They will support you to get through the ups and downs. Yes, Marcella, that's great. My family always helped me to get through the ups and downs. I will be eternally grateful for their support. Great, eternally grateful. If you've been watching the idioms video, that's really nice. Yes. This is also very good, all right? Idrajinsin says, yes, family comes first. That is so simple, but so natural. Family comes first, right? It's really good. It's an emotional bond between family members. There is an emotional bond, yes. Yeah, brilliant. That's nice. Some good practice there, guys. Brilliant. Mum is the sun that brightens my day. Now, this is a good question. Rafaela, right? Family get or family gets? It can be both. It's a strange word, family, right? Because family, when we talk about my family, it's singular. My family is important. My family gets me through the ups and downs, right? But family, when we talk generally about the concept of family, so not a family, but the concept of family and the relationships, then it's not singular, it's plural. Family get you through ups and downs. Family help you get through thick and thin, right? So my example here, family help you, is the concept of family, not the family or my family. So the answer is it can be both, right? Okay. Same question. Yeah, Elena was asking the same question. Is it plural? It can be, so as a concept, yes. Otherwise, it's individual. Okay. Brilliant. Any more? Family is my strength. Great. My family members have a heart of gold. Brilliant. Good. So, excellent. Lots of information about family. Nice. Let's move on and look at the next question. And this is one of those questions. It's a very common part 3 question where you're asked to look at the past and the future, or the past and the present, if you like. How are families today different from the past? How are families today different from the past? Right? Thanks for the smiley face. Great. Assuming they are different, right? So the examiner is pushing you to say they are different, but how? You can push back. Oi, push the examiner back. Push him off his chair. You can push back and say, well, actually, I don't think they are different. I think families today are the same, right? So you can say that. But what do you think? This is a tough question, right? Very tough question. They're not different. Some people are saying, no, they're not. So just say, actually, I don't think they are different. So we've got a few ideas, though, right? Nuclear families are more common, right? So the small family with 1 or 2 children, rather than having all the extended family, especially if you're talking about living together, because the nuclear families tend to live in their own house. Previously, families, the extended family, might live together. Less conservative. Random. Can we write the answer? It's a really good question, because in these classes, everybody writes their answer in the chat, right? When you're practicing, I don't think it's important to write the answer. I think it's important to speak out the answer. In fact, it's quite dangerous to write your answer, because you start writing like writing English, not spoken English. So I would encourage you not to write your answer when you're practicing, but to speak out your answer. But because we can't chat together speaking in the class, people are writing the answers. So you can write the answer. I think to learn the vocabulary, it's good. But of course, I've no idea about your pronunciation or your fluency. So it's a really good question, Random. Yes. So the size, Malika is comparing now family are really small, but then they were really big. But then, or in the past, right? In the past. So I think starting this question is a really good place to start, is to talk about the past, right? In the past, families, and here were, plural, families were, or previously, right? You may want to say previously, families, In the past, previously, what else can we say? In the past, previously, in past times, families were. And then talk about, well, okay, here's a little trick, right? Here's the trick. Trick is to use the present perfect. Here we go. So here's the trick. Can you see what I'm doing? So you've got 3 sentences together. In the past, families were, there's one tense. Things have changed a lot, right? But, there you go, start with but things have changed a lot. Present perfect. Now, families tend to live apart, for example. Present simple. Now look at that, a very simple answer, but you've got 3 tenses. Were, have changed, tend to. Past, present perfect, present. That's the kind of grammar the examiner is listening for, okay? That's the kind of thing the examiner goes, ooh, bing, bing, little bells going off. Present tense, yes. Present perfect. Past tense connected together, and the flow of sentences. That's what sets off the bell in the examiner's head. So little tricks like that, they are just tricks, right? You need to improve your English, but little tricks like this can help you. So with this kind of question, I think that's nice. So having that idea, right? In the past, it was like this, but things have changed. Now we tend to dee 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 dee. Great. Here we've got it. We can also say, as Vida says, the family has gone through changes. That's lovely. Family has gone through changes in terms of marriage or marriage age, right? Brilliant. Let's make a note of that because that's so good. Families have gone through changes. I love it. In terms of what? In terms of marriage, in terms of age, in terms of all sorts of stuff. Families are nuclear, yes. Family, Viren says, family are getting more supportive from the past. Right, are getting more supportive nowadays compared to the past, right? Yes. This is interesting from Khushbu. In comparison to extended families living together in yesteryears, ooh, yesteryears, very poetic, very nice. Nowadays, there are more nuclear families. I like it. Thank you. Brilliant. What else have we got? That's good. I think Muhammad Ali, as far as I'm concerned, family shape. The family unit, I would say, the family unit has changed. Not the shape, because it's not quite the shape. The family unit has mostly changed from extended to nuclear. It's nice, Muhammad Ali, nice. Okay. Well, it's a tricky question. It certainly is. Okay, brilliant. What else have we got? I'm just coming down to find everybody. Well, that's true. Yes. Actually, there is no much difference. There is not much difference because we were bounded by love in the past and now. We've also got Albert saying families, they know about technology now. That's true, especially the younger ones. Yes. This is a nice way to express it from Shakzoda. Families now tend to be smaller than they were in the past. Also, the number of children has declined. That's right, right? So we can talk about the demographics, and that was one of the words I'd written down. Demographics can include age, gender, different things. But if we're talking about the number of the age, what we're talking about, the number of children or the number of people in a family, we can say, the demographics have changed. There are a lot more older people than there are younger people in our society. So demographics have changed. Smaller family unit, right? So we're talking about family unit. I think that's the correct word to be using here. Brilliant. Families have changed. So let's think about it because I'm still thinking about in terms of. So do you remember at the start we said to think about not horizontal, but to think about going in depth? So let's think in terms of what families have changed in terms of size, right? We've talked about. Families have changed in terms of, in terms of respect. So here's an example for me. I think in some Western countries, and I can see this in the UK, families have changed in terms of respect. In the past, younger members of the family would respect older people and would take special care of grandparents. But now things have changed, and I think younger people in families tend to show less respect to elder people than they used to. Broadly speaking, it seems that there is less, they value the older people or the grandparents less than they used to. That may be due to different changes in our society and different changes in values that we have that not only apply to young people, but to young adults. And we can see this in the tendency for grandparents to be put into nursing homes rather than to stay living the extended family altogether. Okay. So Go deep, go down. Take an idea, respect, and go down. Dig deep for your part 3. Okay, I know you can't do it in the chat because you only have a few lines to chat, but there you go, just an idea. Oh, here's a nice one. I like this. Women have become breadwinners. Lovely. Recycle, recycle, recycle. We had breadwinners on Tuesday. Women have become breadwinners. Excellent. Yes. What else have we got? Here's a nice expression. People live in an extended family, used to live under the same roof. Brilliant. Let me write that down because I really like that. And we can share that with everybody. Families used to live under the same roof. And it's literal, but it's just nice, right? It's a really nice expression. Yeah. Oh, hang on. That was the one I wanted to show. Tao. Hey, Tao, where have you gone? As far as I'm concerned, families nowadays are more modern and less conservative compared to families in the past. Excellent. Brilliant. Conservativeness, right? Faster paced life. Yeah. Okay, brilliant. Let's move on and talk about the next question. Oh, my notes are all messed up. Why are my notes messed up? Oh, here we go. Talking of grandparents, when we started the class on this question, what role do grandparents play in families nowadays? Right? What role do grandparents play in families nowadays? It's the ginger. So let's have a think. What role do grandparents play? I started at the beginning of the class talking about fun, didn't I? That they play a role in helping children have fun and show the fun side of their personality, bringing out the fun side of their personality. They may do that through playing games with them, taking to the cinema, or a range of activities where children can feel free to be themselves. It is interesting, right? Children have a different relationship with grandparents than they do with parents. I know a lot of children, and this was my case as well, there are certain things I would tell my grandparents that I might not tell my parents because you had that special kind of relationship. It's interesting, right? It's almost like the psychiatrist, the third person who listens to you, and grandparents are family, but you don't see them every day. At least we never saw them every day. We saw them maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks. And there's that special kind of, they just seem to be very good at listening. Or well, at least my grandparents. I know not all grandparents are the same, let's not put everybody in the same boat. But it's interesting. Okay, let's see what you've got. Now that, oh no, I shouldn't have done that. Because I've noticed now that people are doing this, right? People have realized that if they put lots of question marks, that it catches my attention. And I've now just reinforced it. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? Yes, the IELTS practice test level is the same. Well, it doesn't have a level, right? You have the level. The test doesn't have a level, but the quality of the test and the questions are equal to the real tests. Yes, they are. Yes. Right. I'm going to ignore all of these. Okay. Poonam, mostly caretakers when both parents are working. Caretakers, nice, right? Babysitting, well, yeah, they do play that role, don't they? Yes, babysitters. Advisors, right, lovely. Giving money, akatsuki. You must have had nice grandparents. Oh, actually, I'd forgotten that. Oh my God, that's so true. Actually, one of my grandparents, my grandmother on my father's side, used to always give us like 5 pence or 10 pence. So funny. She always used to say the same thing, right? We'd go to her house. We'd go for dinner or for lunch normally, and she used to make these lovely fish cakes. And then she was always baking, and there was a cake at the end. And then she'd bring out the cake. And then when we used to leave the house, she would always find a way to come up to us, to the children, when the parents were looking, and go, quick, quick, take this. Don't let your dad see. Don't let your mum see. And she'd give us 5 pence, and she'd go and treat yourself. Go and treat yourself. I'll never forget that. I did forget that. You've just reminded me. Thank you so much, Akatsuki. There was a memory I had lost. Oh, wow. Yes, giving money. Nice. Oh. Babysitters, good. Baby care, a lot of that, yeah. Helping to raise their baby, it's nice, it's nice. Yeah, Aisha, this is very good. Without grandparents, there's no joy. Giantas makes a good point, right? Reliable childcare, because there's a difference having a teenager you don't know babysit and your grandparents who you know. They're doing a good job, although I know some parents think grandparents are interfering a bit too much in the education of their children. But exactly because, as Teresa says, sometimes grandparents bend the rules, right? And it's okay up to a point. I totally agree. I couldn't agree more, Teresa. It's very, very true. This is a nice expression from Jezod. They shoulder the responsibility. Lovely. They shoulder the responsibility. Let's make a note of that. Then we can share that later as well. They shoulder the responsibility. Responsibility. They shoulder the responsibility of raising children, for the upbringing of or for. They shoulder the responsibility for. They shoulder the responsibility of. Both of those, of and for, are good. This is also really interesting. Transferring cultural values to the children, right? Absolutely. Brilliant. And it's their job. It's in their job description. You must spoil their grandchildren. Of course. Exactly. Exactly. There's some really good ideas here. Yep, they play a pivotal role, a good expression, right? As they turn into first teachers for the kids when their parents are away for work. They do, yes. But this is also true, as Mapna says, their role is less significant than in the past. And I think that's probably true. Unfortunately, grandparents are babysitting. And I know what you mean, right? Kosibakova, I think I know what you mean, is that we only call up the grandparents when we need a babysitter. We don't call them up regularly to stay in touch, but just when we need a babysitter. They are also, yes, a pillar of strength. They are mentors. Brilliant. Brilliant. Shirin, they are a living link with the past. Wow, that's nice. Very, very nice. So a nice one here from James. I believe the answer for this one depends on the situation. Very true. They can either be the source of wise words or the pillar of support for every family member. Lovely. Very nice. Very, very nice. Let me come back. Oh, I can't go back. Wait a minute. Someone was talking about them being a beacon, which was nice. They are a beacon. Dominique says they substitute parents in some tasks. It's true. They do indeed. Anything else coming up? Anything else? That's true here, that connection with history, connecting them with the past. Absolutely true. Fantastic. Lots of ideas. Far too many for me to read. Gosh, I should develop my speed reading skills. I'm going to move on to our last question, right? And this is an interesting question. If you look deep into your heart, I don't know how old you are, guys, but this is a hard question because there's no simple answer. But who should be responsible for care of the elderly? Well, some great expressions. Brilliant. I will, as you're writing, I will go back and I'll pick out some of these really nice expressions and put them on the sheet. Their own children. Yeah, of course, their children, their own children. And I guess that's, if the question is should, who should, then the answer's clear, right? Their offspring, their family members. Yep, no doubt their children, right? Everybody at home and the government. And the government, right? In what ways do the government support? Well, the government, obviously, it's their responsibility to give them a pension and to make sure that they are financially taken care of, right? And if they are in poverty, that they are given some kind of a home or shelter to stay in. But then it gets complicated because the children, obviously, undoubtedly the children, right? They're flesh and blood. We had that last week, flesh and blood. Oh, you're writing too fast. I can't get your comments. Where has it gone? Oh no! There we are. Yes, Rangana. Their own flesh and blood has a responsibility for looking after their parents. Yes, but it could also be their close friends, right? That's very true because. So the reality is, parents are working. Most parents, not everybody, but they may be working 9 to 5. And so finding time during the day to look after their grandparents is difficult. Grandparents, if they're lucky, will have a network, a circle of friends and family, and friends can also help them. As grandparents get older, the big issue, of course, is health and looking after themselves. And in many cases, close friends can also play a pivotal role in supporting them if the whole family can't. The parents may be busy working. The children have a role to play, so the grandchildren. It's an interesting question, I think. As Turquoise says, their children and the grandchildren. Yes. Right, quite a few of you have got both the government and the own children. So there is definitely a role for the government, right? In my viewpoint, the kids are responsible for them. Yeah, and we all hope, of course, that as we become grandparents, that our own family will look after us as well. Okay. Yeah, I think both governments and parents at the same time, as they have paid taxes. They did indeed. Healthy careers. And of course, what happens sometimes is if the grandparents are sick, is that their children put them into a nursing home to look after them. And you could say that's my way of looking after them, of taking care of them, because I can't do it every day. By putting them in a nursing home, that's my way of looking after them. You could say, I'm not saying that's good or bad. There's no judgment, right? But that situation does exist as well. And therefore, the nursing homes have that role to play. At the moment, in most countries, they are private, I think. Maybe in some countries, they are public, run by the government. I'm not sure. Yes. But most of all, as Sanan says, we must not avoid this situation. It is a very strong reality, and we have to solve it. Or maybe you mean we as the children, we mustn't avoid it. I don't know. I'm not sure. So we could say in the majority of cases, their offspring in the singular, offspring, and partly government. Yes. And here's another word. So we've talked about children, offspring, grandchildren, government, friends, community. There's also the community. So there are people in the community, depending where you live, that do help in this kind of area, right? People, volunteers who go and help and go to, for example, volunteers go to some of the nursing homes or people on their own and play games with them, talk to them, give them a chance, or just a phone call, just to give them contact with people. Because I guess for many grandparents, especially if they are single, then loneliness is a big, big issue. Right. Okay, great. Anything else coming up? Well, listen, guys, some amazing expressions up here. Uh, as I said, I will pick out some of them. We have come again in the blink of an eye. We have come through an hour. It's 11 o'clock again. 11 o'clock again at the end, Tuesday and Thursday. So I'm going to start winding up. We've looked at some really nice expressions, right? We've looked at part 3 questions. We've had a look at different parts of language, and we've talked about, let me just see, my notes are a mess, but we've talked about the role of family. If families are important, we've said that family can be a concept in a plural, or it can be singular, my family. Family bonds we've talked about. We've talked about families getting you through thick and thin, or through the ups and downs, right? We've talked about that idea, comparing the past and the present. In the past, it was like this. Things have changed. Now we tend to write nice, complex grammar. We've talked about the family unit, right? That has changed. The family unit is bigger than it used to be, or is smaller than it used to be, I guess. We've talked about grandparents and their role, right, in being mentors, advisors, taking care of children, being a link to the tradition and to history. And finally, responsibility for taking care of grandparents. Excellent. Very, very nice. So that's it. Listen, we are going to wind up as we come to the end. There are quite a few questions you've asked today. Again, I will try and pick them out and answer those questions next time. If anybody's doing the test before next Tuesday, thumbs up. Good luck. We are all thinking of you. I hope it goes well. Do come back and share your questions. Go into the IELTS Speaking Success.com and recent questions and share what you've got. I'm hoping next week I can share more with you. And I think that's it. I think I'm going to wind up. Any final comments? What time do you have live lesson? So, Maria, it's Tuesday and Thursday, 10 a.m. Spain time. And I say Spain because I live in Spain. I'm not Spanish, but I live in Spain. So it's 10 a.m. Spain time. If you go to YouTube and Facebook, you can see the different times in most, no, not most countries, some countries where most of you are from. Right. I wish we were going to the cinema tonight. Yeah, we'll have to wait for that, won't we? Great. Any other key things? Next Tuesday's topic is I don't have it written down, but I'll let you know because that will help you decide if it's worth coming to for you. Is it worth coming to? Of course it's worth coming to. Right. Ooh, next week is international coordination. International coordination. I'm going to have to rephrase it because most people go, what is international coordination? But it's I guess globalization might be the better word. Globalization, how we coordinate internationally, the WHO, WTO, governments, people. Globalization. Let's call it globalization. Might be an easier word. That's one of the plans for next week. Probably on Tuesday. Okay. Listen, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for joining. I'm going to wrap up before I start rambling and making no sense. The notes will be in the website on the live lessons tab, the one I showed you at the beginning. So you can pick those up. If you feel like making a donation and sponsoring this, that would be fantastic. In the meantime, enjoy your Thursday, enjoy your weekend, keep studying, get your study habit on, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Okay, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.